Hello, fellow Star Trek fans. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Clonestar Podcast with me, your host, Mike Overton. Now, this week we are joined by a true force in the Star Trek universe, a performer whose face you might not always recognize, but whose presence has helped shape some of the most unforgettable moments across multiple Star Trek series. Avaah Blackwell is a powerhouse stunt performer, actress, and movement specialist who has brought to life countless alien species and characters from bridge crew to battle-hardened warriors. Avaah, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mike.
So, just before we delve in, we'd just like to quickly mention that this episode of the Clone Star podcast is proudly brought to you by Cool Waters Productions, your gateway to the stars of sci fi, fantasy, and beyond. From Star Trek to Star Wars and everything in between, Cool Waters connects fans with unforgettable experiences with exclusive signed collectibles. Visit coolwaterprods.com to explore more. The link will also be in the description. So, Avaah, let's kind of start at the very beginning. You grew up in Calgary. What
hmm
kind of kid were you?
well, I was a weird kid. I was different.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, aren't we all? And then we end up here. I'm an actor
What's
who's
normal, hey?
what's normal? I don't know. I don't want to, whatever it is, it's not me. Um, but yeah, I was the kind of kid like my mom really wanted a ballerina for a daughter. And so
Okay.
she put me in ballet class and I ran around doing flying kicks in the air in my little tutu. And there was a neighboring karate dojo in the little strip mall where the ballet class was. So one day during a short break, I wandered over to the karate dojo. My mom couldn't find me at the end of ballet class, and she freaked out and then found this little girl in her tutu watching the karate class in Amherst. So,
Did you sign up for karate afterwards?
yep, my mom was nice enough, like, and kind enough and astute enough to realize that that's where I wanted to be. So that's where she put me.
That's quite cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you keep on with the ballerina or did you kind of skip the ballet
No,
and
I really wish in retrospect, I really wish I would have kept on with the ballerina stuff, but I went into karate like pretty full force. I was competing and there every day and just loved it. I would walk myself there from school and had the time of my life training there.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what kind of was there a specific moment when you realized that, that's kind of the performing is what you want to do? Because obviously if you're doing karate and performance don't kind of go together.
I mean, so karate was really early I was like 4 or 5 when
Okay.
that happened. And then as soon as I got into school, there was little like drama skits and stuff that we did that I really liked. And my mom at the time, she was involved in a church that had a great theater program. So she was always she liked to do makeup for the theater productions. So I would hang out
Okay.
with her, get thrown in the productions, and I liked the community of it. Um, and then both of my parents were military, and my dad was still active when I was young, and he would get stationed around to different places. And whenever I went to visit him to get me involved in the community, he would always put me in a drama camp. So it's how I connected with new communities and people, and I loved it.
That's quite cool actually.
Yeah, it's cool.
So do you remember the moment then when you go, right, I really like performing. Performing is what I want to do. Was it a kind of a person or a character, or was it that kind of inspired you, or was it kind of completely unexpected?
I kind of always liked it. And even in martial arts and karate, we would do like performance style events and I would do
Right.
competitions. So I was always sort of performing and competing in front of other people. And I
Yep.
really liked that. It always made me nervous, but I felt a sense of accomplishment afterwards and taught me good like sportsmanship. And then when I was in high school, it was my high school drama teacher, Mrs. Stretchlet. Um, and actually, uh, Bruce and I, who plays Hemmer on Strange
Yep.
New Worlds, we both had the same drama teacher in high school. We're both from Calgary, and we both had the same drama teacher. So
That's cool.
she, yeah, she inspired two Trekkies.
Two Trekkies who are actually not that dissimilar because obviously, Hemmer has a lot of prosthetics. Obviously, your roles on Discovery have had lots of prosthetics. So I'm wondering if
Tons.
that's kind of something in the teaching style, maybe.
I mean, in my high school play with her, I was in full makeup. I was a creature. I was a pirate who thought she was a parrot. It was called Jolly Roger and the Pirate Queen.
Okay.
Yay, go high school drama.
See, when I was in high school, it was Grease.
Oh, I mean, that's a classic. Were you in it?
I played one of the I played one of the boys. I was Sunny, so I only had about 6 lines. But yes, I remember doing it. What the greatest thing about it was for me was you could skip the two end classes of the day for 6 weeks.
I mean, that's
So it's like
extensive
that in
enough.
itself was a win because normally
Yeah.
the last two classes of the day was really boring, like religious education or something like that. And it's like I really don't want to be here. I'd rather be on stage.
I feel
So
like there's a little bit of typecasting going on there.
just a little bit.
That's awesome.
So, how did your family react then when you said that you wanted to pursue acting?
You know, my parents were pretty supportive. My I grew up, I'm such a typical millennial. I grew up being told that I could do whatever I wanted to do and be whatever I wanted to be. And both my parents went into the military because they wanted a sense of adventure. They
Yep.
wanted to serve something greater than themselves. And it was their way to see the world. And I think my father, had he not gone into the military, would have made an incredible musician. He played the saxophone. My
Oh wow.
mom had the creative spirit with theatrical makeup and all this other stuff. She was always doing creative projects.
Yep.
So I think they didn't know necessarily how to help me through those channels into the arts, but they were supportive of my decision and at least giving it a go. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Yeah.
I suppose that's also half the battle as well, isn't it? If your parents are on board, it almost kind of gives you the the kind of the emphasis to actually go on and pursue it. Because if your parents are backing you, then that's half the battle won, isn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of like they kind of just realized like I was gonna do it anyway, so they just didn't fight it.
What's the point in fighting?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah. So obviously you graduated school and everything else, and then you went to Prague.
Yeah.
That's
So,
quite a bold move.
well, yeah, it is, but that's just sort of the way life went. Prague was a bit of a surprise. I mean, I high school, I was all over the place already. I started in Calgary and then I went on a Rotary Ambassador exchange year
Yep.
to Holland. So I got a taste of
Okay.
Europe. That was an incredible year being a Canadian ambassador for in the Netherlands. I came back, I lived with my father in New Brunswick, Canada on the East Coast. Graduated high school there and then he got stationed to Germany. And he was like,
Yep.
you're welcome to come with us if you want to hang out in Germany. I was thinking about university in the Netherlands anyway. There was a university in Leiden I originally wanted to go to, which is a great Dutch city. And then so we ended up in Germany. I was going to take a gap year and just enjoy everything there, but it was the recession, the middle of a bad recession there, so I couldn't get a job. So I applied to a bunch of different schools, including Prague Film School, sent in my resume and my audition tape, and 3 days later, I was on a plane to Prague.
Oh wow, so it happened
Yeah,
really quickly then.
I was applying for the next year, but they had it was a curated class of like 10 students from around the world for the acting program.
Right.
And they had somebody who unfortunately got very sick and had to drop out. So they were looking for a replacement. And I just happened, it was sort of a timing thing. I happened to send my application in for the next year. They liked my stuff, thought I'd be a great fit in that class, called me and they're like, "Can you be here in 3 days?" It's like, "Sure."
I mean, I feel really sorry for that poor person that missed out, but also at the same time, that's a win for you.
Yeah, me too. I'd love to actually find out who that person is and what they're doing now. Like I don't know. I didn't even get their name.
Oh. Okay, so what was that time like? So obviously you're in Prague. Prague is I want to say almost it's a gothic city, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love Prague. It's a wonderful, wonderful city.
Have you
So
been?
I've been twice.
Great.
Love
Yeah.
it. Um, so what was your time there like? Because obviously, you're living, studying in Europe, which in itself is quite different to Canada and America.
Mhm.
How did you find that?
I loved it. I mean, like I said, in that we did the pilot program. I was the first year that they had the acting for film program.
Oh wow.
So there's like the experience at Prague Film School and in Prague itself. And then I stayed and lived and worked in Prague afterwards and in Central Europe. And I mean, they're sort of synonymous with each other, but they're individual experiences too. Uh, Prague Film School was so freaking cool. Like there was 10 students from around the world in the acting program and then 50 students from around the world in the film making program. So
Right.
they would cast from our pool of actors, and I got to do scripts with storytelling perspectives from around the world, like as a form in my formative year as an actor. It was so cool. And we had teachers from all over the world, and I got a lot of like really contemporary method training, like from the lab, Stanislavski, Adler, Meisner. And then I got very like, we had producers. Nancy Bishop was a CSA, she's a CSA casting director, and she was
Yep.
chair of the acting program at the time. So she brought in a lot of her producer and director friends from LA and New York and Florida, I think, where she's originally from. And we got to meet them and talk to them like face to face, and they came in and did seminars. So it was really cool. I got like a really well-rounded education that year.
That sounds
And our
pretty
diploma
nuts.
film that I was a like I co-starred in with it was an ensemble cast. Our diploma film went to Cannes Film Festival. So it was a very successful program. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So okay, so hang on a second. So you've got classical training.
Mhm.
Obviously, you went to Prague. How did you go then from sort of classical training and acting to stunts?
Um, well, that's a funny story. Like I mean, like a lot of actors love stage combat when we did the stage combat portion
Yep.
of our training at Prague Film School, and I helped to start the Prague Shakespeare Festival that's still going there, the English one in Prague at Vyšehrad Cathedral. And I played, that was kind of my first taste of like a real combat role because I played a few different roles there anyway. And I played one of the guards that had to have like a bow staff fight, which was cool on live stage. So that was like my first taste of really loving it. And then when I went to Toronto, I ended up doing a bunch of creature work, including some stuff on Trek. Like those were my early days on Trek. And
Yep.
I ended up working alongside stunt performers a lot, just by virtue of the roles I was being cast in. And I was auditioning for a lot of action stuff, and I had my karate background. So I just kind of started talking to the stunt performers, and I was like, "Hey, where do you guys train? I'm auditioning for acting roles that involve action. I just want to get better at it." And they were nice enough to like bring me to the Monkey Vault, which is where we all train in Toronto.
Yep.
And I started training there. I started taking some more different martial arts classes, and eventually uh, I got um, a my first big stunt gig. My first official stunt gig was on a show called Jupiter's Legacy. It was a one season show that aired on Netflix. And I auditioned for the acting role and then got the stunt double role. And I thought they were correlated, but they weren't. It was so strange. So I showed up and they had no idea that I had auditioned. It was like two very different departments working. And I was like, cool. Yeah.
That's kind of a win, isn't it?
I was like, sure, I guess I was meant to be involved in this in some way. Yeah. So that was my first thing. And then the world shut down because of COVID.
Yep.
And while everything was shut down, I just took the opportunity to like train as much as I could on my own. I was doing a bunch of like nunchaku and weapons training in the park every day outside because there was nothing else to
Yep.
do. And then when film started back up in Toronto, I got the lead double on a Canadian CBC show called Frankie Drake.
Hmm.
I doubled Lauren Lee Smith, and it just went from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you started working professionally then, what kind of roles and projects came first? Obviously, taking the stunt side of it out for a second.
Yeah, my very first role, to get me into the Canadian Union called ACTRA was on a show
Mhm.
called 12 Monkeys. And it was a role in prosthetics. I played her character name was Alabaster Woman, and she's a ghostly apparition. Ghostly
Such a nice
apparition.
character name, isn't
I know,
it?
Alabaster Woman. Um, so she's a ghostly apparition that appears and freaks out Emily Hampshire's character, and I point and bleed from my neck, and it was all creepy, and I'm trying to send her towards the thing she's trying to find in the episode. So that was my very first role. And I guess from there, my name got passed around in the prosthetics world, and that's kind of how I just kept showing up in prosthetic land.
So, do you like prosthetics? Because I know some people really struggle with prosthetics and find it very claustrophobic, and some people thrive in it. So, how do you find prosthetics?
Look, I'm very lucky. I have had amazing mentors in prosthetics world, including Doug for 5 seasons
Yeah,
of Discovery. Like, I couldn't have been put in a better position in prosthetics to sort of thrive and learn how to enjoy it.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I'm lucky because I like it. I like the collaboration of having the prosthetics artists sort of build and sculpt the look, and you see what the character looks like, and you get to see how it plays on your face and what moves and what doesn't and what you have available to you.
yeah.
So I really like it. I mean, it's not always comfortable. It's sort of an endurance. It's a marathon. It's just you're getting paid to be pretty uncomfortable
Yeah.
for a long time in these things. But if
Because
you can learn, Hmm?
I was going to say, because obviously in the Star Trek world, I think is it four different prosthetic roles? Because
More
you
than
were,
that. Let me
oh, was
actually
it?
have it here.
Because
I think
you were a Klingon,
I was Klingon.
an Osnolus, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Osnolist. Yeah, I was
I
two
hate
different
that word.
Osnolists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Osnolite. She got named to Lieutenant Arav in season 5.
Yes.
So yeah, if we're talking species, let me look here. I was an
Kelpian.
yeah, Osnolus, Kelpian. I was an insectoid changeling for one episode. I was here I have
I think my favorite one is Gorn Arn Performer.
that's my favorite. It's my favorite title to date. The
That
Gap.
is a
Mind the
great
Gap.
that is a great title. What do you do for a living? Well, I'm a Gorn Arn Performer.
I'm a Gorn arm performer. You play the
I have to
Gorn,
say,
the
I
arms.
love the Gorn in Strange New Worlds. They are
Oh
incredible.
my gosh, they did. I'm so happy with what they did with that.
I'm guessing
And it was,
you're up to date.
oh yeah, I mean,
Episode 9 of this last season is phenomenal.
incredible. Phenomenal.
Absolutely phenomenal.
I got to do so that episode was very special in so many ways. But for me particularly, that was the first episode where I got to work as like I worked with Warren as the Gorn, but I was sort of like he's in the Gorn costume and I'm sort of
Yeah.
like his handler. So I was brought
Oh,
on
okay. Now
by
I didn't know this, so
yeah. It's we haven't really publicized it because it was just more like they brought me on because they knew I had so much experience in
yeah.
prosthetics, in the suits, and doing this kind of movement. So they brought me on to just work with him. I was part of the stunt team. Neil Davison, the stunt coordinator, and Vincent Rother, the fight coordinator, brought me on, and they just had me there with him all the time. So I worked with the puppeteer team at Legacy and the prosthetics team, Gaslight Studio, Chris Bridges,
Yep.
and I worked with Warren to make sure he was comfortable and helped him to like figure out a little bit of his movement and stuff, and made sure he was safe in the suit. And then I helped safety Melissa, playing Ortegas while she was interacting with him and running away from him and everything. It was a very cool episode for so many reasons, but just personally and professionally for me, it was the
Yeah.
first time I got to a do a role like that, kind of behind the camera as sort of the Gorn handler.
Go and handle it. I like that. Well, we're going to delve a little bit more into that in a bit. So we'll keep that. I'll keep the rest of my questions to one side.
Okay.
Um, so okay, what was there a particular job then where you've just gone, that's it, I'm doing what I love, it's actually happening?
I mean, I'm doing one right now, but I can't talk about it yet because it's not out. But it's gonna be great. But there's I like basically Strange New Worlds has sort of been a lot of that for me. But there's right now I don't know if people know, but in Toronto, we're running Starfleet Academy and Strange New
Yep.
Worlds back to back those seasons. And bouncing back and forth between those shows is sort of reminiscent of bouncing back and forth between season 5 of Discovery and season 1 of Strange New Worlds.
Yep.
There was so, and I'm like, it's kind of like what was happening on Discovery, where I was like cast on Discovery and then running over and doing stunts on Strange New Worlds. And that mix, I love. Couldn't be happier.
You kind of get, I suppose then as well, it's like no 2 days are the same. And also,
Yeah.
they are so far from each other because one minute you could be dressed up in prosthetics and a costume, and the next minute you're guiding a Gorn.
Yes.
They don't get that much different, do they? Really? So obviously, look, the entertainment world. Let's face it, it's probably the most unpredictable world going. What's something that you learn early on that will always stick with you?
Oh, it's a great question. I mean, always be close enough to an airport that you can get on a flight. Carry your
Especially if you got to
passport
get
with
to
you.
Prague in 3 days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've had it like because I'm between LA and Toronto right now, and it's literally like sometimes I'll get the text in the morning, and by that evening I'm on a flight, you know.
Wow.
Um, and also like just being nice goes a long way. Like this industry, you work long hours.
Yeah.
Everybody's tired. As tired as you are as the performer, the crew is way more tired.
Because they
They've
were there
been
before you and they'll be there long after
there
you've
after
gone home.
you, and even if you're like, honestly, the crew is there every day from call to wrap,
Yeah.
every single day. It's so grueling, and if they like are showing up with a smile on their face, you better put a smile on your face. Just show up and be nice. And I don't know, like it really is a Star Trek family, and it should be treated as such, and that's a special show. And if you can take even a little piece of that
Yeah.
and that sort of like intention and bring it over to another show, it really means the world to people, you know? Just the little things like that, like just being a nice person.
It goes such a long way. It
Such a
really
long
does.
way. Who would have thought?
Um, so obviously, look, you've moved behind the camera, both as a producer, obviously, creating events like behind the camera and fangirl fights. What pushed you to start making your own opportunities?
I mean, it's a little bit of column A and like I'm still very much in front of the camera. I love being there, but I also just I I I like to do more stuff, and I think that the more you do, the more you know, the more you experience, the more it feeds into your performance, and the more you can understand what's going on for other people, so you can make the project a bit better, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I think it probably comes from my like military upbringing, where it is about community and taking initiative and having a team and supporting them and making sure like everybody sort of fills in where they're needed. And I'm not needed as a performer on every production. And if I can help in some other way to make it happen and I like the project, I'm gonna do that.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Now, Star Trek has created quite a few directors. um, do you foresee directing being added to your skill set at some point? Also,
I
I know
would
you
love that.
briefly directed a co-directed a short,
Yeah, I
but
co-directed a short. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've directed some theater. I would really like, and it's funny you asked that because that's just sort of been in my 5-year plan that I've been making for myself this year. I really want to understand the technical side of film even more than I already do. And I've been starting to build previs on the stunt side of it and shooting a little
yep,
bit more action and editing more action. So I'd like to take that and expand that and direct. I mean, Jonathan Frakes is like probably the best example.
yep.
Mr. Frakes, of what Star Trek can create from in front of to the behind the camera. And yeah, I mean, if it happens through Star Trek, that's amazing. And if not, I'll keep going in my direction of shooting action.
So before we move on to Star Trek, then,
Mhm.
are you a Trekkie? And how much Star Trek have you seen?
I have become more of a Trekkie. I was always like, I grew up watching Star Trek with my mom,
Yeah.
and I would fall asleep to it a lot. Like I would put my
It was
head on
that
her lap.
boring you fell asleep to
I was like
it.
5 or 6. I loved it. I love the aliens. I love, I just I I also loved as a kid, I will say I got the intention of it. I was like, these are nice people trying to be better humans and do good things in the universe. And I was
Yep.
like, that's cool. I didn't always, as a kid, I didn't always understand the deeper meaning of every concept and everything, but I got the energy of it and I was like, this is great. And then growing up, I would watch it here and there. I always had an affinity for it, but it wasn't until I really got involved in Trek where I understood it more as an adult. And I was like, oh, this is great. And I got a lot more into it. And I'm so
Yep.
happy I did because I feel that like my principles and values are very much aligned with Star Trek's principles and values just as a human being.
Yep. No, that one I can relate to a lot because I
Yeah.
grew up watching The Next Generation with my dad, and again falling asleep to it because I was 7 or 8 years old. But so I wholeheartedly react to that. So let's talk Star Trek. How did Star Trek first come about?
Like for me,
Yeah. So your
okay.
career in Star Trek, how did it start?
Great. It started through my friend who worked in wardrobe and a friend of mine who was an agent. Not my agent at the time. She does a different thing called, it was honestly, she does like background casting and I wasn't involved, but I'm friends with her. So both my friend Robin and Cindy, they called me on the same day and they're like, "Hey, any chance you're free today? Can you get down to the studio?" And I was like, "Sure. What do you need?" I don't normally, Cindy, I don't normally work in your category, but cool. And Robin, you're my friend. I'll come down. So they were like, just get down to the studio. We need you. They want to see you really quick. So I got down there and there was a lineup of girls, all kind of similar to me. And they were just like, whoever fits this costume best goes to prosthetics. It was like a Cinderella story.
Does
Truly.
the slipper fit?
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, oh God, because I was a lot taller and like not as thin as a lot of these girls. They were like shorter and like super thin. I was like, it's never. And it was too big on these girls. And I was like, oh. And it fit me. I was like, sorry, ladies. And I went to prosthetics and they plopped the Osnalis head on me. It was like thunk. And inside Osnalis, it's like dark and I can't see anything. And it sounds like this when I'm talking in it. And I was like, oh, I can't see anything. And they're like, that's okay. Grab my hand. So
You don't need to see, it's fine.
yeah, I don't need to see. So I went in totally. I literally held it was Chris Bridges at the time. I held his hand and he walked me across the Pinewood Lot Studios into
Yep.
the stage. It got all dark. And like because I have like 10% vision and I was like, where am I going? Bumping off of things and everything. And they walked me onto what I now know is the bridge. And I could sort of see all these like consoles and everything. And this person who I now know was Alex Kurtzman, pops in front of the mask and he's like, "Hey, we just want to see you over there for a second. Can you get over there?" And I was like, "Okay." So I was just standing. I went and stood behind the console, which was Mary's station. I now know, and I was like, sort of just trying to look in a direction and type a little bit, and I was like, okay, I guess they like it. Another person comes and enthusiastically waves in front of my face, and I'm like, great, great, we love it. I now know that was Tune Day.
Talk
I'm
about
like,
sort of
okay,
like death by fire on this one, just like
it
completely thrown
was. It
in.
was like that, and that I now understand was my camera test, and it was a very last minute camera test to replace another person that tried to wear this prosthetic and didn't like it, and they
So
already
what you're
booked.
saying is your friend made a costume in your size on purpose. That's what you're saying.
Thanks, Robin. Um, thanks, Robin, over there altering it. Um, yeah, so that was cool, and it was just supposed to be one day. And they just kept coming and asking if I was available, and I kept saying yes. And then it grew from there.
So, kind of the physical demands then this must be really intense because obviously you're being pulled from pillar to post to get onto set because you can't see anything. And then, I mean, how long was an average shoot for you?
Well, it depends on the day. I mean, generally a bridge day on set, and most days on set are like 12 to 13 hours.
Yeah.
And we have an hour lunch break, usually halfway through.
I suppose you're lucky because the head kind of pops off,
They
whereas,
ended up
you know,
doing that. They ended up
poor
making it so
Doug
that it
and
could pop up.
David
Oh
glued
God, I
in.
know. I know, and that's most. I mean, Osnalis is an anomaly in that respect, where she
Yeah.
can be popped off. I'm often in prosthetics that are glued to my face, and it was just hell. And I don't know how Doug did it. He's like, I knew he was special, but now that I've been on other roles where I have to do it like 5 days a week, back to back for weeks and weeks and weeks, I'm like, he's another type of human being. I don't know how he
Oh,
does it. And he's incredible. We all know this. We all love
yep.
Doug,
And
but
how he
he
stays so positive on everything as well. I have no idea. That man is a special type of human.
yes, he is. So, I mean, you want to hear my first Doug story?
Go for it.
Okay. So
We
it was
love a
that
Doug
same,
story.
we love Doug stories. Dougie. Um, so after they did my camera test, they brought me off and sat me down on this chair, and I'm sitting there just kind of like in the dark because they left the head on me, and I'm just being like, okay, I guess I'm here for a while. And then over like maybe 6 feet away, I just hear this precious. And I was like, huh? Was that for me? And he's like, oh, precious, what do they have you in? And, and this person, this tall streak of blue, that's all I could see, reaches down and grabs my hand, and he's got his Kelpian hands on. So it's like these gummy hands against these gummy hands. And I'm like, hi, I'm Ava. I have no idea who this person is. And he's like, stand up. Let me see you. Let me give you a hug. Can you stand? Are you okay in there? Gives me a big Doug hug.
That is so Doug as well. It's great.
So Doug. So Doug. And I just see this like alien because I hadn't like the show hadn't come out yet. So I
No.
didn't know who this, and it's just like this white alien with these piercing blue
So you're
eyes
looking at this
looking
Kelpian.
into me. He's like, where are your eyes? Let me find you. Let me find you. And he's like right in there. He grabs the Osnalis face and he's like, are you okay in there, precious? He's just such a sweet human being. And then I think he made sure that they took care of me and like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're like, can we get her out of here for a little while? And it's amazing.
I mean, from all the stories from your fellow crewmates, I'm going to call them, it's almost like Doug was the dad on set
Yes,
and made
100%.
sure that everybody, especially those in prosthetics, but everybody was looked after just as
Hmm.
much as Saniqua was that, mum of the set,
He was a
essentially.
mom, 100%. Yeah.
Doug was definitely the dad of the set, and yeah, let's face it, everybody loves Doug.
Yeah. How can you not?
Exactly. So, taking a step to one side, then walk me through a kind of a stunt heavy day because obviously that's a day on the bridge in prosthetics. What does a
Yeah.
stunt heavy day look like then on a Starfleet ship?
Yeah, sure. Uh, no 2 days are ever the same. So on Strange New Worlds, I double Rebecca Romaine.
Yep.
She plays Una on Strange New Worlds. And I've doubled her since season one. Um, and a stunt heavy day will range from anything from fights and falls. And on the Enterprise bridge, that bridge is um a fun bridge to do stunts on because there's lots of sneaky, sharp edges and like lots of stairs and pits and railings that you can fly over and fall into. So it's a fun one, but it'll bite you if you're not careful. So if I'm doubling, I mean, most of my stunts for Rebecca have been on that bridge where I'm flying through the air, I'm falling over, the ship gets hit. Uh, I'm fighting off an alien or two that's trying to infiltrate the bridge. So it'll usually involve like a have been prior stunt rehearsals to dial in the gags and stuff. And you'll go through processing. I'll touch base with the coordinator, Neil Davison, and see what he needs. Him and Vincent Roth are very good at coming over and making sure that like everybody is informed of what needs to happen. And I pad myself up. I make sure Rebecca's padded up if she needs anything. I help the stunt safety. They help me. And we all kind of work together to make the thing happen.
So when you say padded up, is that almost like an underlayer to the costume?
Yeah,
It's just
so
there. It's like a wearable stunt mat, essentially.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And we're pretty lucky as women on Star Trek. Like, even though the costumes are skin tight, we're covered from head to toe, so we can put like sneak in a little. They're called like stunt gels, stunt
Right.
bumpers. They're a thin gel that figure skaters originally wore, and we'll kind of sneak those in where we can in order to land more softly.
That's quite cool.
And yeah. And if we're in a harness, like if we're doing there's a lot of zero G stuff that happens. So we're in harnesses often. We'll have that on underneath our costume. And sometimes it'll require a change. Like sometimes we'll be part of the day fighting in our non-harnessed costume. And then we'll have to change into our harness for the wire gag. So then we have a separate costume that's fitted for the harness. Because it's going to be a little
Right.
bit bigger.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I suppose obviously it's also got to take into account the wires and everything else.
exactly. Yeah.
So is there a kind of a particular scene or an episode that kind of stands out as a milestone for you? Because I mean, how many Star Trek credits are you on? It must be 40, nearly 40 odd now.
Yeah, something odd now. And there's more coming. I gotta update my IMDb. But I mean, there's one I really love. Episode 3 of season 3. Yes, that Dan Liu directed. It's
Discovery
the
of Strange
zombie
New
one.
Worlds. Oh, Strange
Strange
New
New
Worlds.
Worlds. It's
The
the
zombies.
zombie episode.
Yep.
So I got to play a zombie, which was super fun. I love that. That's the first time we've ever had zombies in Trek canon, so it was really cool to be part of that.
The
And then
makeup
I
for that
also
is insane. I love
Oh, the
that
makeup is
episode.
insane. I love it. I love it so much. They did such a great job. There's a couple episodes coming out that I'm very excited about. But obviously I can't really talk about them yet because they're not out. But
Nope.
I also Discovery, the end of season 3 and the beginning of season 4, I finally got to be human.
Yep.
I came out as Lieutenant Ina. And there's one
Yes.
episode, I believe it's the I think it's the last episode of season 3. Doug and I were both human on the same episode.
Yes, because that's the one where you're um essentially it's the one where you find Sukal and obviously the
Yes.
hologram the ship is eventually dying and
Yeah.
it's projecting human onto you, isn't it, essentially?
Projecting human onto Doug, and I am my own human Starfleet officer. They just switched me out for,
Oh, right, okay, got
yeah,
you.
yeah. But that is right. That's correct for Doug. Yeah.
That still freaked me out. It seems weird seeing Doug not as a Kelpian. It kind of
Hmm.
feels wrong, if you know what I mean.
I understand.
Because at this point we've done 3 seasons of Kelpian Doug to see
Yeah.
him non-Kelpian. Because obviously it's very rare that you get to see Doug as Doug,
Yeah. I know.
which is a weird thing. But there we are. So obviously you've been part of a universe that celebrates diversity and progress. Obviously, how does that align with your own values as an artist? Because you said you share those values, but in what way? So is that in everything that you do, or etc.? I'm going to just call it etc.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's in a lot of what I do. I mean, in just like a lot of the values of Trek are things that I try to practice in my daily life. I'm the co-chair of the Green Committee on Actros, so I'm trying to always take care of our planet Earth, our little
Yep.
spaceship. I mean, my partner is a BIPOC individual. Um, I love to help drive initiatives in the stunt community to train and make sure that we have opportunities for a lot of um, performers and categories that traditionally have not seen a lot of work, and we want to push and create more talented performers and a better pool of performers in those groups, um, so that we can create so that there's more opportunities for them. So we have the performers to put in front of producers and say, look, we have this performer. They're so talented. We want this
Yeah.
demographic represented, please.
I still think it's weird though that from my perspective that we have to kind of do that. It should just be that way from the get-go. Everybody should just be treated as an equal, regardless of, ethnicity, religion, sexuality, orientation, anything like that. It should just be taken as they are a human, they are a person, and
100%.
so yeah, I relate a lot to that, and yeah, I
I
just think it's mad that the world we live in just can't get past that.
I 100% agree with you. And the fact that we have to do this work is very sad. But I think there's enough people doing the work that we are making progress, and
Yeah,
hopefully it continues to trend in that direction. That's,
absolutely.
you know,
So fans obviously often see the glamour that is, when you're working on something like Star Trek. What's a kind of a behind the scenes moment for you that might surprise them?
woof, there's a few. Which one do I want to talk about? Um, I mean, we've alluded to like just the long hours and the
Yeah.
crazy, the the tiring kind of grind of it. One thing that really sticks out to me, and that I've carried with me, kind of going back to an earlier question too, is I think it was like 3 or 4 in the morning on a Friday into Saturday morning. We call them Fraturdays,
Yep.
and we had done like back to backs. This was on Discovery, and everybody was tired, and it was a big stunt day, and it was the middle of winter in Canada, and we were just
So
all
it was
like,
warm then.
yeah, super warm. Yeah, so warm, no snow anywhere. Uh, and we were all so tired. And Jonathan Frakes, he was directing that episode, runs onto set. He was like, never let them know what time you filmed this at. Never let them know. Meaning, like, pick up the energy. The
Yep.
audience doesn't, it's not 3 or 4 in the morning on a Saturday morning to the audience. Don't ever let them know. And that stuck with me. And it's great. And it's also just like it was coming from such a place of experience for him. He was like,
Yeah.
I know where you are.
Yep.
I'm there right now too, and I've been there many times in my career.
I suppose as
Don't
well it's
let
slightly different for him because he was doing 27, 28 episodes a season and not 10.
Oh, is that crazy? I don't
It's
know. And with a
mad.
lot less, like we are so protected. I mean, as much as people love, there's always more work to be done in the unions. We're so protected now from a lot of that stuff that he had to
Yeah.
deal with. Wild.
Yeah, absolutely. So us Star Trek fans, we are quite famously loyal. What's been the most meaningful interaction you've had so far?
Oof. Um, there's so many. I'm thinking because I mean, everybody's been incredible. Uh, there is one group that we went. It was my very first convention ever with Derek, and it was in Minoy. It was in this very small town in rural America, and everybody showed up. There's a line out the door. Everybody was so excited to meet all of us. And the creators of that event made us feel so welcome, and they built like a mini bridge of the ship.
Oh, that's cool.
Really cool. And they did it like it was their own like DIY project. Like they actually like, they built this with their hands and their materials and their costs. And they presented us each with like a framed badge of everything of what we had done.
Oh,
And I
that's cool.
it's in Toronto. I wish I had it and I could show it to you here, but um one she's such a nice lady, and she made like a Lieutenant Ina badge for me, and it says like thank you for all your contributions to the Trek universe. I'm like,
Oh, that's
the
awesome.
world. Yeah, so special. Still up on my mantle.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So, do you ever kind of stop and think then about how many lives that you've kind of embodied in just such one shared universe?
Yeah, I feel pretty lucky. Like, what is released to date? Again, I need to update my IMDb, but I think there's released is between 18 to 20 characters that I've brought to life.
Yeah.
Um, and we have more coming down the pipe. So it's pretty cool.
That's quite cool. I can't
Yeah.
wait to see what's going on
Yeah.
in Academy. So
Academy. I can't wait for everyone to see Academy.
roll on January.
Yep.
Um,
So exciting.
yes, it is because I mean, look, I'm one of those people where all Trek is good Trek, and
Hmm.
more Trek is even better. So I'm really looking forward to it. So, um, for fans or aspiring performers who dream of entering the industry, obviously everyone goes, "Oh, what would you recommend?" But what's your honest advice?
Oh, yeah. So entering the industry, I mean, it's everybody has a different path. Um, I would say assume it's not going to be easy, and if it is, that's a bonus. Because for some people, they audition once or twice, they get an incredible role. Some
Yep.
people, it takes years. I would like truly, my advice in my experience is tenacity and grit count for a lot. Just keep going and don't be in it. It's hard to say, but it's like it's hard to live and understand, but don't be in it just to get the role, if that makes sense. Be in it to be
Yep.
in it. Be in it to have this experience and be on this journey and be in it to like hone your craft, work on yourself, discover things about yourself. And that's going to create, this is from a performer perspective. Um, it's going to create a depth in your performances that show up that are sort of, it gives you that sort of je ne sais quoi, you know? Always try to get better. There's a lot of, like in any industry, but especially in this industry, you have opposite ends of the spectrum of people. You have the Dougs, who
Yep.
are the most warm-hearted, loving, incredible people you will ever meet, and you have the other end of it. So you should also be careful who you model yourself after, and when you find people that are good, stick with them
Yep.
and be grateful for them and model yourself after those people. There's a lot of people who will
Be
be
like
loud.
Doug.
Yeah, be like Doug. Be like Doug.
If everybody was like Doug, that'd be one awesome world.
It would be an awesome world. Um, and I don't know, just focus on yourself and your craft. We are ultimately, as actors and performers, paid for what happens between action and cut.
Yeah.
So never lose focus of that. That's what really matters. And when you're on set, it's really easy to lose focus of that. But your reputation is built on what happens around that time on set, you know, and in the casting room.
Yeah.
And when you're talking to coordinators, just be a nice person, be good at what you do, always try to keep getting better, be honest. Don't try to say you can do something if you can't. There's just a lot of that stuff because it might work for a casting or two, but it'll catch up with you eventually. And I've seen it
Yeah.
happen.
And you
Yeah.
don't want to be known as that person either, do you?
No, no.
So outside of Trek, obviously you've worked across various genres, drama, sci-fi, action, etc. Do you have a favorite kind of story to tell?
Action adventure. I love it. I love action adventure.
Blowing things up and fighting people. Yeah, to be fair,
Hmm.
it's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, with sort of like a swashbuckly swagger to it. It's so fun.
So obviously you're known for your physical skill.
Hmm.
What about the quieter, more emotional side of performance? How do you balance the two?
Well, it is like it's a sister skill set and you got to hone it like anything else. Um, I go to a lot of classes to keep myself sharp. I study at the Ivana studio here in LA and I hop around to different classes in Toronto. I study with Earl Nanu at EVN and
Hmm.
then I work with some private Chubbuck coaches and I also just try to surround myself with people who are like actors that I admire. And I do my tapes with them and everything. And I try to just, it's a lot of time, like it's a lot of reps. You have to, as many reps as you put into your physical performance, you should put double into your smaller technical performance and fine tuning and honing it. Because when the camera's this close, like it doesn't lie, it's going to pick up what's there.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
exactly. Obviously, you are also a producer. What kind of stories do you want to bring into the world?
More stuff like Trek, more stuff where humans are striving to be
I
better.
knew that was going to be your answer as well.
I'm sorry, it's true. Um, yeah, more stuff like Trek. I want to see like also just like really gritty human stories getting told. I love action comedy. I want to go that direction too. Bring in a little stuff like 22 Jump Street. Like I love that
I
stuff.
haven't seen that film in ages.
Oh my God, it's so funny. I love it. Like a good action comedy, like The
Yep.
Fall Guy. Oh my God, love it. So kind of if I could marry those two worlds a little bit, like put a little bit more action and comedy into something like Trek, that would be a
Hmm.
dream come true.
Trying to think what that would look like.
I don't know. I'm
But
working
I'm
on
here
it.
for
Hmm.
it. Um, so looking at the industry, do you
Hmm.
feel that it's kind of finally opening up to women in action and stunt roles, sorry, in a meaningful way?
Yeah, I mean, it's taken a long time, but we're getting there. I mean, even I keep talking about it, but Neil on Trek, he really is good about bringing in female safeties. It's a role called stunt safety,
Yep.
and traditionally, those have they're called ND and safety utility roles, and traditionally those go to men. ND roles are the guys who like run in and get blown up. Um,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
What does
And they can
ND
be
stand for?
respected.
Nondescript or something?
Yes, exactly.
Is that what it is?
Nondescript. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I got it.
So traditionally, those mostly go to men. I will say Neil makes a point of making sure there's at least a balance of both genders, and if not, usually a little bit more women. He's been really good about that. And we're starting to see more female coordinators like Alicia Turner, Angelica Liscan. We are seeing these women, especially in Toronto, um, uh, really get better shows, bigger shows, and handle them super well.
So is that something that you would like to do, be to kind of progress into that role of being a full stunt coordinator?
I mean, yes, but it would be on my way to directing, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Okay.
There's a
So,
very clear path.
yeah,
And I love stunt coordinating, but I'm also like, there's there's things I have to learn before I can sign off and say like your life is safe in my hands. You know what I mean? Like there's
yeah.
certain things absolutely I could do no problem, but there's other stuff like car hits and rigging stuff where I'm like, I'm that's not what I'm coordinating. That's not my specialty.
Got you.
I want somebody who really knows what they're doing to make sure that everybody's safe in those roles. You know what I
But I
mean?
suppose as well, that also kind of gives you then a unique opportunity that if you are a director who used to be a stunt coordinator, who before that was a stunt performer yourself, that
Hmm.
really kind of opens up a really unique skill set and I suppose a very unique perspective on, the stories that are going to be told.
Yeah, it sure does. And a lot of stunt coordinators that do progress into directing, because it's a pretty direct path. You do what's called second unit directing for a little while.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
A,
and
fr a,
that's where
fr
you direct
a
people.
friend of mine was a second unit director on all the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, great.
Stephen, if you're watching.
Hi, Stephen.
Um, Okay, so then let's talk about now and next. Obviously, we know Academy is on the horizon. Not, is there anything else that's coming up that you can talk about?
Unfortunately, like I have all these life-threatening NDAs. Yeah, I could talk
Okay,
about them, but they come
fair
after
enough.
both of us, and everybody will kill us.
Yeah, no, I feel like
So,
it's
I
messy.
mean, like what else do I have that's just come out? I was lucky enough to do a utility safety role on Welcome to Derry, so you can see a lot of stunts. You won't see me performing on it. You'll see a lot of cool Toronto locals, but I did help set up and execute a lot of the stunts on that show. So that's
Is that
pretty cool.
that's the It TV show, isn't
That's
it?
the It TV
But
show. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Awesome.
it's the new one. I mean, the one it's just coming out. It's not really been over here in the UK much.
No.
A lot of
Yeah.
HBO stuff is exclusive to Sky, and if you don't have Sky, you don't get it. So it's really frustrating. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we have to wait for it to either come out on DVD or be available to buy on Amazon or iTunes or something for us to get that kind of stuff, which is really
Yeah.
frustrating.
That's too bad. But Bill Skarsgård gives an amazing performance in it as Pennywise. He's incredible.
Ooh, okay.
Um, yeah. And I mean, as mentioned before, Trek fans can come and find me on the Trek cruise this year. That's going to be
Yep.
pretty cool. I'm actually yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there the entire cruise. It'll be super fun. And there'll be some cool breakaway events where you can come and see me personally and some of the other Trek people personally.
Will you? Is that's before your birthday, I think.
Yeah, it's the
I know
week of
you
my birthday. Yeah,
because we're February babies.
oh yeah, when's your birthday? What day's your birthday?
21st.
Whoa, that's
So I'm
very
a few
close to
days
my.
before you.
Yeah, you're a few days before me. I'm on the 28th.
28th.
Yeah,
Not
my son
quite a
was
leap year though.
not
God, could you
quite.
imagine
I
if
was
it'd been
born
a
at
day
11:58
later?
p.m. Yeah, yeah,
Ooh, God, you were close.
I was close. I was
So you could
close. It
actually,
would explain so
you could
much.
have been 10 years old now.
Yeah.
So how do you recharge then between such physically demanding jobs?
Yeah, I it's taken a while to figure out how to do that. But I mean it's just a lot of like decompression time. I have a good sports massage therapist that I see and that changes my life. I do a lot of acupuncture. I've been starting to do this thing called cryotherapy and jury's out yet on whether it's like pseudoscience or not. And but it's been really helping my sports and recovery. Um, it's a thing where you go into the cold chambers and they shoot a bunch of
Yep.
cold air at you. Yeah, I really like it. I can perform well afterwards. I feel really great. I've been doing cold plunge for a long time, so it helps with my recovery. Um, and I spend time with my partner and my friends and family whenever I can, and I put little things in to look forward to, like little trips and stuff to go see people I love. Yeah.
Well, that's part of it, isn't it? Just knowing that you're okay. Yes, I've got 3 more days of really, really stressful, but then to go, okay, I can take a week off. I can just chill, relax,
Yeah,
not have to
100%.
worry about the world.
Yeah, exactly. Like knowing I have that time that I can look forward to
Yep.
is a big part of it.
So this is my second to final question. When you think about everything that you've done, from Prague to Calgary to Star Trek, is there one thing and I want specifics that you're most proud of? So not Star Trek as a whole. Is there just one thing that you're most proud of?
Wow, that's a good question. Um, I I don't nothing comes to mind as like my most proud moment. Um, I'm proud of it all. I'm just proud of the fact that I kept going. And that I'm here doing it. Still doing it.
Yeah, I can go with that one. So
I'm sorry,
sometimes
that's
just
kind of a
being
cop
here is the
out,
best
but
thing.
like, yeah, sorry, like having the ability and the luck and the whatever it is to still be here in the industry performing
Yeah.
after all these years. Like, yeah, love it.
So I mean, one last question, but just before we do, look, you've had quite an incredible career so far.
Thanks.
From acting to producing to stunt double for Rebecca Romaine, I think is quite cool in itself. To everything in between. First off, well done, because it's one hell of a career. My final question then is, what does Star Trek mean to you?
It's a little cheesy, but it means family.
No, I
And it
love that.
means, like,
I love
yeah,
that.
it
It's quite interesting because I found if you ask a lot of what I'd call Trek alumni, they 90% of the time will always say family, and I think it's because of those friendships and relationships that span 5, 6, in your case longer. years.
No, I can't
So
believe how long it's been. Like I've been on
I mean,
track
what was
for a
it,
long.
2013?
I came on
When
track in
was
like
Discovery?
2017,
Teen, yeah.
2018. Beginning of 2018, I
So
think.
I keep thinking 2013, but it's not. It's 2017. 'Cause I get
Yeah,
my dates muddled up.
it's
I
all
mean, yeah,
good.
that's nearly 10 years.
I know, isn't that crazy?
That's mad, isn't it? Oh, how time flies when you're having fun.
Yep.
Ava, thank you so much for giving up your time to chat to me today. This has been really, really cool. I've really enjoyed this.
Cool. Thanks, Mike. I
No
love being
worries.
here. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for spending your time chatting with me and asking such cool questions. And
Thank you.
yeah. Can't wait to do it.
For everybody watching and listening at home, remember you can catch up with more of us here at the Clonestar Podcast at our YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified when we next upload. But until next time, live long and prosper.